What's good, YouTube? Usually I shout out another YugiTube during this segment, but I want to celebrate the life of a hero who passed away to me, and that is Haruo Nakajima. He is the man behind the Godzilla suit. He played 12 Godzilla movies, including the original. He also did movies such as Frankenstein Conquers the World, War of the Gargantuous, many of the kaiju movies that I really love and that have a huge impact on me. They've shaped a bit of who I am. I'm probably more obsessed with Godzilla as the only thing more than Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I actually planned to do a Godzilla series before. I do want to celebrate his life and say thank you so much for giving life to the character that I love so much. It's really tough, but I love Godzilla, and this man, he used to go and actually study how large animals would move at the zoo for his role. The suits used to be so thick, he would pass out in them just from the heat and the cameras and how the old rubber suits were. He had to be helped out of a lot of the older suits, and an amazing person. So, tonight, celebrate if you love Godzilla. Watch some of the old movies. Definitely a lesser-known celebrity that passed away yesterday. Disturbance strategy. So this is a card that goes alongside Droll and Lock Bird / the Trickstars. When your opponent puts all cards in his / her hand back into his / her deck. We're not assuming genders here. His / her. Two genders, boys. Let's not get into that. The deck is then shuffled. Your opponent then draws the same number of cards that he / she put into his / her deck. So basically, with the Trickstar, I believe Lycrosis, or however you say that, I'm probably butchering that, you're able to do a minimum of an opening hand of 1200 damage, 200 damage per, and with the field spell, that's 1400. So with two of them, that's 2800. Pretty darn good card, but your main goal is to use Droll and Lock also to not let your opponent draw cards at times, and basically FTK them in some senses. So being able to use that alongside Droll and Lock Bird, pretty good. We got some French Duelist League for cheap though on eBay comparative to the commons, because as we actually go into the commons here on TCG Player, near mint 650 is 650, so you can upgrade to French Duelist League at $8 right now lowest, also $9 the French Duelist League as well. What's up with ya, French? And it just doesn't exist on eBay besides these relatively low Duelist Leagues. This one's a damaged one, it looks like to me. I see damage on the bottom left corner. We've got Light Plate at 9s. And then we've got Pharaonic Guardian, $13 from the UK. So definitely a huge buyout on this card. A lot of hype surrounding the Trickstars. A lot of Trickstar players want their hands on this. Speaking of hyped cards alongside it, I would say that Droll and Lock Bird is getting up there. $9.50 on eBay. But on TCG Player, it's exceeded that by a little bit on the buy it now lowest. And then there's only one left here before it's 12 on TCG. And then the Supers, now that OTS 5 is out, other vendors that have been holding them, that haven't been able to sell them, can sell it. You can sell 4 sets back with OTS a pack if you're an OTS store. So we'll see a lot of OTS 1 pack cards hitting the shelf from vendors, but only 4 total prices here, with a lowest of looking like, what's that, 11 plus 3, 14 about? Let's look it up as OTS on here as well. Does not exist. OP01, my bad. Sometimes we get that set wrong. 13 lowest here. Or is that lowest? Usually it's lowest when it's like that. Yeah, 13 lowest. 43 sold. Probably one of the vendors who had back stock. And then 15. So they, like, this card used to be a lot lower, and vendors could buy them at YCSs but not sell them. So they would get them in collections that they bought and stuff like that. I would definitely say it's deserved of the price in STBL and OP pack only. The OP pack is now pretty old. Great card. You're trying to just lock your opponent down. Very degenerate card. Very degenerate hand trap. But it also has multi-purposes against other decks. on their Broadbull. No more adding for the rest of the turn. Against True Dracos especially, you're not going to be able... You use your diagram once, you're not going to draw with any of your cards this turn, like Heritage. It's a decent card against True Dracos already. So, I see why it went up. It can be a general side deck, or it can be used for pretty degenerate strategies. Lich Lord King of the Underworld. You have a very cheap common version available to you guys. But how about that $15 lowest secret and 0 copies on eBay? From Force of the Breaker is a secret rare. What the heck does this card do to deserve its price? Well, let's look at your cheap commons still. Let's see what it does. If you tribute summon this card, the tribute must be dark. Alright. If this card was tributed by a card's effect and sent to the graveyard, return it to the owner's hand. So, basically, if you activate a ritual spell and use this exactly level 6 ritual, this pops back to your hand. Free resources, in a sense, infinite uses for ritual summoning. Is it necessarily worth the hype? Not in my opinion. The commons are still super low. I guess if you really want a shiny Force of the Breaker version, it's a very nice looking card, a very old secret rare. But I don't think it's that playable in the deck. I don't think it's that good in the deck. Just being able to... It's kind of Garnetti. You know, is that a term, Garnetti? You're activating a card, pitching it, getting it back. You should just be using your other Vendread pieces to try to give your ritual other pieces for other effects for your ritual monsters, in my opinion. But we'll see how the Vendread archetype shapes up over the next few sets. What happened here? That's pretty weird. Well, that's some Spellbook stuff, boyos. We were trying to show you the Spellbooks on TCG Player, but something weird happened. So, basically my points on Spellbooks were, I think it was 12 for the most on TCG Player. And we'll try one more time to just search Spellbooks. That's really weird. There we go. So we can close this. Spellbook of Knowledge is at almost... It was at 12 lowest last night before my refresh that I didn't see. But 1150 lowest versus 1050 lowest, so saving $1 over here. But other Spellbook things I wanted to know. I wanted to show you the best-selling Spellbook cards. And the next two are the cards that I pointed out that I thought would go up over time with the Spellbook card being released, Spellbook of Knowledge. Spellbook of Secrets is the second most selling Spellbook card, and Prophecy from Battles of Legend each, $1.30, $1.50. The fact that they're best selling highly likely means, in my opinion, that they will be going up soon-ish. I don't know when, but this engine's very popular in Japan. The Spellbook of Knowledge, Spellbook of Secrets, Spellbook of Magician of Prophecy, it's all you need. We see it played in True Draco, we see it splashed in other engines and decks. I think this engine by itself is a very powerful engine, and it's something you should probably have. I think Spellbook of Knowledge, though, until it becomes meta, will probably dip to 8, maybe as low as 5, but I think seeing how Ultra Rares are the new hype beast from this set, it'll probably dip to 8 when the special editions are released. But boy, are a lot of those special editions going to get ripped open. You have me, Starboy, Solemn Strike, and Skullmeister. People are going to be ripping those decks open for the 3 Skullmeister if our format is going to look like Japan's, as well as the Strikes. The Strikes are a huge bonus and not listed in our structure deck in the future. We only had Cosmic Cyclone and Dimensional Barrier, so people are really going to want those promos. Speaking of other Ultras that are up, World Chalice Guard Dragon continues to go up and is at $14. People are blaming a buyout, but it continues just to get bought out of all of its quantities. People just want to play this deck. It seems it's not just vendors doing this, because we don't see a vendor with a mass quantity re-uploading. Pro Play Games with only 2 copies. Pretty intense. I don't think is that the real Pro Play Games with only 421 sales? Just a check mark? Not a star? Is that really them? I don't know if that's the real Pro Play Games. Maybe they have a second account. I don't know. Let me know, George Machete, down in the comments below. I see you creep some of the market watches. But, yeah, $14 lowest. And then on eBay, from USA sellers 11, so $3 disparity there. But last night it was like 13 something low, so they're still selling over here. Be sure to check both sites. That's why I always show both sites on my market watches. $3 is a huge difference on an ultra rare card from a new set. However, Lee the World Chalice Fairy, we see played somehow. How do you already have a played card? But low is $16.90 here for Lee. One of the superior cards of the deck, and $13 over on eBay before $13.95. Again, a $4 disparity on a new ultra rare, although again these are all independent listers, but then we see it holding the line very well at $14 on eBay. So kind of weird that, and it was actually lower last night. Again, it was like $16.89 or something, lowest last night, I think. So somebody bought that one. It's very odd to me that there's such a huge disparity in price. There's such a big gap, but hey, it is what it is. These are all independent sellers. They are making sales over here. I guess people just don't check eBay anymore some days. Zoodiac Chakanine. This is another card. It's going to be $2 here, we noticed, on TCG. 81 plus 98, so more so in the $1.70 plus range, a little higher than that. And but that's only one copy, and then it's almost $2, and then it's above $2 on TCG. The rest are light played, and these you can't buy unless you buy other cards from these sellers specifically. So you would have to find DFW trading cards and buy about, you know, $1.30 more from them, $1.23, whatever, and then you would have to find their other listings as well from Molly World. So realistically, it's heading towards $2 on TCG, but on eBay, it's still available at $1. A lot of the people are snapping these up because the Megathons seem to have confirmed the Zoo cards, and this will be your missing piece. So if Zoo doesn't get super hit to where it's unusable, Chakanine is going to go up a lot. It's a Macker Ultra, and you probably play 2 of them. So with all the other Zoo super cheap and easy to get, people are speculating this is going to go up. It already is starting on TCG Player. So, thanks for watching, guys. What do you think of today's Market Watch? Do you think Disturbance strategy is worth as a common? An additional burn card in the Trickstars? Do you think Lich Lord King, have I undersold this? Is there a reason it should be this hype? Am I just overlooking the fact of its resourcefulness? What do you guys think of today's Market Watch? And thanks for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for helping me hit 30,000. And if this segment ever makes you money, be sure to give back on Patreon. Links down in the description below.